Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Trade Talks Live. I am Roger Wakefield coming to you from, again, the University of Northwestern Ohio. And I got to tell you, this is really pretty cool. I'm here speaking at Social Media Week Lima, and it's been a lot of fun. So, a lot of great speakers here. So, a fun thing to do. And it's great to have Squirt back in the studio to run things, take care of things. Him, Colton, and Alex doing what they do. So, I just want to say, if you've been here before, welcome back. Thank you very much. I appreciate y'all being here. If you're new, if this is your first time here, we go live every day, 11 o'clock Eastern time, so that we can bring you current information about the news, about the trades, all types of different topics. But it's something that we get to do. Squirt has fun getting up, doing the research and searching websites and social and things like that. And we get to come in here every day and talk about it. Squirt, how are you today?
And I'm doing lovely. Happy Thursday, everybody. Glad to see you today. Uh, I am Squirt, aka Henry Wakefield, 20-year pipe fitter by trade. Now I run Leak Pro, and we would like to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks, where we build the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. And I always suggest checking out the complete kit at www.leak-pro.com. And that complete kit comes with both pieces of equipment to cover you for indoor and outdoor leaks. But if you don't know anything about it and you'd like to discuss a 2-day in person training I do here just outside of Dallas, Texas, give me a call at 1-8888 Leak Pro, and I'd be happy to discuss how we train you in every aspect of leak detection, even how to market it in your area.
And marketing is such a big deal, and that's what these conferences are all about. It really is neat, but you've got to know how to do it right. And social media is a great way to do it. I've had so many people come up to me and say, "Oh my gosh, after hearing your talk, I understand that I need to be on YouTube." But a lot of them are afraid. A lot of people are like, "Look, I don't have the gear, I don't have the equipment, I can't afford the equipment, I don't have enough subscribers, I don't have enough followers, I don't get enough views." That's where we were when we started. We had nothing. We had a laptop similar to the one I'm on right now. We had cell phones. We had things like that. So, what it's all about is learning stuff like that. I made a webinar dispelling the myths that most people have. Anybody interested in going and watching it, it's www.justmattroger.com. Go check it out. And if you do, jump in here and let me know what you thought about it. And before we get going, a special shout out to Kevin Hawthorne, first one in here each and every day. Brother, how are you doing? I hope everything's going well in Lakeland, Florida. All right, let me jump into national news because this is a lot of money being spent here. But a $500 million upgrade to public building HVAC systems. Guys, when I was in the union, all that we did in the summertime is work on schools. I mean, we had the airport job going, but all the new work that we did was schoolwork. And it was literally taking out a lot of these old radiant heaters, putting in current modular systems, and it works. But the U.S. Department of Energy is investing $500 million into retrofitting HVAC systems in schools, municipal buildings, and courthouses. And I tell you what, many traffic tickets as I've had, I've been in courthouses, they get a little warm, especially when you're in front of the judge.
That's
Now, the
it.
primary goal, improving energy efficiency and indoor air quality. This is a big win for mechanical contractors, especially those that specialize in HVAC. Now, if you're a plumbing company and you know that there's a company, a bigger company that just does HVAC, that this is the kind of work they do, you may want to contact them and just say, "Hey, look, how do I get on board with y'all to see if there's anything that I can do to help support you?" So that makes it good. Projects are going to start Q4 2025 into 2026. So this is something you need to start looking at now. Underserved areas are where they're going to start looking, so it could be good. Squirt, this is
That's
this is
it.
big stuff for you.
It is, and like guys, like it says there, it's going to start Q4.
It's not far
Guys,
away.
it's not. And guess what that is for HVAC? It's the down season.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to love getting in some of that work in. So, but there's an example here. Back in 2024, similar funds led to full HVAC overhauls in over 200 rural schools. And I've done some of those. Whenever we went to Midland, out in the middle of Texas,
Nowhere.
in
Oh,
the
that ain't in
middle
the
of
middle of
nowhere,
Texas,
pretty
brother.
much.
Yeah, that ain't in the middle of Texas.
And we did like 5 schools. And the main thing was the HVAC upgrades because it gets brutal out there.
Mhm.
A real good tip, HVAC pros should reach out to local school districts and pre-qualify as vendors. Start doing that now so that you're in line, ready to go whenever it's time to get this going.
Ah, now, I like this because we know what kind of work this can lead to. And this is literally, it's one of those deals that we talk about all the time, guys, where you get in here and your job has a hard stop completion date. Because if you're in schools, even courthouses, if they're like, hey, look, we can shut down this area for so long, schools mainly, because they've got to start classes on a certain date, but even courthouses, municipal buildings, stuff like that, they don't want you in there forever. It's not like, hey, get in here, lollygag around. It's like, get in, get your stuff done, and get out. So this can really be great work for companies that want to grow. Websites, and I love that we're talking about HVAC. HVACtalkforum.com. It's an old school but extremely active discussion hub for HVAC techs, installers, and engineers. Good things about it: most useful categories are residential AC, control boards, and tool reviews. And tool reviews are something everybody loves. They're field tested advice from seasoned pros, not brand sponsored. Now, some channels don't do sponsorships. I happen to love it. It helps me do more. But I love this because they're completely open-minded. It's like, hey, look, we're going to test anything and everything that comes in. Now, users often share step-by-step diagnostics on weird failures that you won't find on YouTube. Well, guess what? Maybe you can now. Square, why did you like this one?
Man, I just like wherever you can find the communities that are going in and discussing things actually going on and happening in the trade, trying to teach things like TXV valve locations. I remember the first time I had to deal with some of that whenever I was doing a bunch of the refrigerant lines, and it was like, well, wait, what is this? Okay, how's this work? I hadn't learned enough yet, but I'm the one that's happy to go, hey, I got questions here. And I like to see forums like this where you can go in and you can ask your questions and you can get them answered by people in the trade in the field. So that's one of my favorites. It takes me back to, thinking back old chat rooms and stuff. This is what this is. It's a spot you can
Chat
go
rooms.
talk. I know, right? Like, yes, yeah, I know. I'm old too. Anyway, that's what this is, though. It's a spot where you go and you actually discuss whatever that location's about. You can ask your questions, good, bad, or ugly. And, we're trade people. Most of us have thick skin. So when they tear it apart, great. I need to learn from that so that I can do better next time and be a professional. I like
And it's
spots where you can go do
HVAC.
that.
It's HVAC. It ties into what we're looking at, ties into what we're talking about. But, at the end of the day, to be able to get in here and see what real technicians out in the field think about things, what tools they use. I mean, look, people reach out to us all the time and ask us to review tools. And normally we don't. Now that there's some that we've been looking at, they're like, hey, you know what? It might be worth it to get in, try this out. I love the fact that we do the tool reviews where we do comparisons. We did the $100 expander versus, was it the expander or press or expander?
Press.
Okay. And did the $100 one versus the $1,000. And I mean, there's some good tools out there. And we had so many people give us feedback, say, look, we've used that $100 tool. It works fine.
Mm-hmm.
Not too bad.
Well, that's it. Hey, I had to pull that $100 tool out when we had to do a press on my water system for something because I didn't have the jaws handy for 1 inch or something. And it was like, oh, wait, I got them over here. Here. It'll make the press. It still gets the job done. So
it's a pretty cool deal.
That's it.
So HVAC, such a big thing. And there's so many opportunities coming, and everybody needs to be aware of it, because if this is something that you're interested in, now's the time to get out there. Watching YouTube, learning stuff like that. Guys, HVAC is, and people ask me all the time, what is the best trade to get in? And it's always, to me, it's which one are you going to have the most fun at? And to me, of course, I want to tell them plumbing, but you know what? Plumbing may not be their deal. Randy, you didn't want to do plumbing. You got into it. You're like, hey, I have an opportunity to move over into pipe fitting.
Yep.
What I would do if I was somebody wanting to get in the trades right now, and we talk about it all the time, get on YouTube, watch channels like this, see what they do and think, wow, you know what? I would enjoy that. Watch HVAC, watch Electrician U, watch me. Look at what we do out there. Watch other plumbers, watch other electricians. But see if it's something that interests you and excites you. See if it's something that's like, oh my gosh, I could do this. If so, you may have a great career opportunity ahead of you.
Yeah. Well, we get a lot of questions about how can I find a job in these locations? Here's what I do. Guys, use some of these forums like this. Promote yourself. Hey, I'm looking for work in this area. Does anybody know somebody? We rely on each other in the trade so much. That's what things like this are for. You can find a job on those sites also. So get out there and take a look. You know, there's multiple ways to get there.
And I love the way you look at it, because there's different opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know, I mean, Randy, I mean, think about it. If you'd have gone down to the union and it would have been plumbers only, you'd have just probably become a plumber.
Yep.
But then it's like, wait, y'all have pipe fitting and I get to work with the bigger pipe and you're out on jobs getting to see it. We didn't have YouTube the way they've got these days, where we could just study all that and figure it out.
Yep.
So neat way to look at it. All right. Business growth, launching in a new zip code, the local marketing checklist. This is huge. So expanding into new service areas, don't just rely on the radius map. There's some checklists and there's things that you need to go over. There's things you need to set up, but your local Google business page. If you don't have a GBP set up, you're in trouble, because hyper local landing pages can be targeted to certain zip codes, certain areas. You can still send out postcards. You can go in and set up things with HOAs, but doing things like that, I love the Google business page. I think that is probably one of the best things. And if you've already got like a social media following on either YouTube or Facebook or anything like that, communicate with your community. Let them know, hey guys, look, we're moving into other areas. And if anybody knows anybody that lives in this area, we'll give you a $50 discount if you'll send them a referral. Stuff like that works good. Also, partner with local trade suppliers or even coffee shops. A lot of these coffee shops have coffee shop news in there, and you can advertise in those. People come in, sit down, drink coffee, and read the news or read that little newspaper all the time. You do stuff like that, that can help you. Target the small home builders or remodelers. Big GCs, you know what, that may be slower, go talk to them and say, hey, look, I don't know if you like the plumbing. One of my favorite things that I used to do is I would walk in and ask them, do you love your plumber? And of course, most of the time they look at me and they're like, God, no, nobody loves their plumber. It's like, no, my customers love me.
Yep.
And then they're like, okay, let's talk. So stuff like that's neat. But companies with a zip code optimized website generate 30 to 50% higher conversion rates in service calls. Because if you're optimized locally, they know you're local. It's a big deal. And somebody spoke about that yesterday here. They said, literally, they said, like Roger. They said, if Roger opened up a marketing company for plumbers, plumbers are going to say, you know what? I want him because he understands my business. People are the same way. If you're in their neighborhood and they know you're in their neighborhood, you're the one they want to use. You like that?
I do, because, there was a plumbing shop that actually got 12 jobs in a month using local Facebook groups and some like next door offers also. Everything local. If you really want it, there's work there. You've just got to make yourself known in the space and in the areas where these people hang out. And Facebook groups, local ones are a great way to do it. Just go to your city's group and kind of talk and discuss and answer questions there. People reach back out, guaranteed.
And you've got Nextdoor in here. Uncle Grant uses Nextdoor.
Yeah.
He doesn't use it. It's not like he advertises on it, but he gets so many calls off of it because he lets people know, hey, if you're on Nextdoor and anybody ever asks for a plumber, please put my name in there.
Yep.
Man, that is a great word of mouth advertising. And it does. It freaking works. All right. Let's jump into service work. And this is going to be a good one for you because scope creep. You ever had that problem before, Squirt?
Oh, yes. Lots of times, especially working in the industrial space, there's a lot of things that get kind of just overlooked. GCs love to get things done for nothing if possible, but somebody's got to actually install it and somebody's got to pay for it. So you've got to figure out where the scope is and isn't covered. And it's whenever that client, let's just add one more thing, just this one little thing, no big deal. Now, as a superintendent, there were times that I'd learned some things you may do because you need that GC to scratch your back too.
Mm-hmm.
So you would pick and choose the extra scope that you would actually include for larger projects, not for a small project. Then you can't add any extras in there. But you've got to set the tone early, guys. Look, we price based on this agreed scope, and you need to have it very clear what you have included and excluded. Anything beyond that, we're going to have to quote that separately. It's not included in this pricing, and you've got to make that very clear up front. And like I'm saying, do that written work order, digital, however, so that they can see everything and it's all laid out very clear for the customer, so that if something comes up later, you can go, no, look here, it clearly shows everything that I had included, and here's where that was excluded. And track any new request that they give separately on. Don't just talk about it, actually track it and write it down.
Squirt, the one big thing that you mentioned, and I want to hit on it. Everything we're supposed to do and everything we excluded.
Yep.
So many people do not put exclusions in their contracts. And it blows my mind because it's like, hey, wait a minute. The customer's like, excuse me, when you redid the sewer, you were supposed to replace the toilets. No, we said that we were going to pull them, but we never said that we were going to place them. It's like, oh, no, you said that you were going to put new toilets back in. And you know what? Somebody, maybe the other plumber that was out there mentioned, hey, it'd be a good time to put new toilets in or something.
Yeah.
And if they said, no, we don't want to add to the price. Okay. This does not include new toilets. We will be reinstalling the same toilets. And if you don't put that in, they may be like, hey, look, one of your guys told us we were getting new toilets.
Yeah.
Make sure your exclusions are covered. Go ahead, Squirt.
That's it. And also, guys, whenever you're dealing with things, don't hesitate to pause and say, hey, let's press that as a change order. It's okay to do that and make it clear, because you just want to make sure that that they are aware that there is going to be a charge for whatever it is that they're asking, that one little extra. A good example line here, though, look, I'm happy to help, but I want to make sure that we price it fairly and transparently. I want it to be clear of everything that's included in the pricing. And exclusions are huge because, anything that was stated that could possibly have happened, exclude it if it's not part of your pricing. If they had you look at something extra and they don't want it a part of it, exclude that piece because you want it clear. But that's one of my favorites.
Another thing too, though, is be very specific. If you are putting in a new toilet, I mean, Randy, the last trade show we went, we saw what, $10,000, $15,000 toilets?
Yep. Yep.
And they may be thinking, hey, I'm getting the Lamborghini toilet. And you're like, no, 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 no. It was priced from the big box store, $49 special.
Yep.
Which I would never do to anybody. So if you are going to
Correct.
throw in
Yeah.
a toilet, at least throw in a name brand toilet. I'm just saying,
That's it.
we've seen some crap out there.
Oh, yes.
Another good thing to do, train the
Yep.
techs. Let me run that through the office. That way it completely resets their expectations and they know I'm not just dealing with the plumber on the job.
Yep.
I can be nice to him. I can make him lunch. I can have a cold beer with him after he's done. But that doesn't mean you're getting a free $10,000 toilet. I'm just saying it doesn't
Oh,
work.
but I thought that was included.
Yeah. Now, I like Matt Trevino here says, check with your local community college. One of mine here has introduction classes available to try. Look, there's so many different things out there that you can learn and grow. And look, it's great opportunities. And then want to say a special shout out to Mr. Derek Sutton. Good to see you in here as always. I love when these people keep coming back, keep jumping in, keep leaving comments. And man, we love that y'all are part of the community. We really, really do.
That's yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about this next one here. It's your
Yeah.
deal.
Hey, I was just curious. And
Oh,
this came
I'm not
up,
going
and
to
I
try to
said-
talk about it.
And I said, you know what? Let's do this. Guys,
Yep.
materials, equipment, and tools. Pipe fitting accessories that you didn't know you needed.
Now, let
okay.
me ask you something. Let me ask you something before you even start.
Yep.
How important is this? Because I know, but a lot of people don't even know what these are. But I'm looking at your magnetic angle finders, which I think are freaking huge. But there's one on here that you don't have too. And I don't know what it's called, the top finder.
Yeah, the center punch.
Center punch. Yeah, I
Yep.
think those, I
With
love
the degree
those
finder.
because
Mhm.
absolutely. I think those are one of the best tools out there. So when I saw this morning, I was like, you know what? I like this. And that's the first thing I thought about.
Well, I love a center punch. I do. But I really prefer a square and a level. Almost
sense.
every time, more than anything. Because I know the distance that center is. So I could just throw that up, boom, mark it real quick, and be on my day. But whenever you have the nice ones there, especially with the spring-loaded punch,
Yep.
those are nice. Those are nice. But honestly, like sometimes it's the little things that make the day smoother. Okay. Like you were saying, the magnetic angle finder for quick offset checks. I love that thing. There's times that I've had to put things at 5 degrees because of the instrumentation it had to be in at this. So there's times that you actually have to have those weird oddball degree finders to be able to know the right angle that you're actually putting something in at. Also, pipe deburring tools, external and internal, for better joint quality. I learned this a long time ago. I never knew what a inside grinder was, a pencil grinder. And it's like, wait, what? Oh, wait. Oh, there's flapper wheels. There's all these things. Oh, I can get the inside that clean before we weld. Okay. When you learn these tools, but guess what? At first, when you start, guys, you don't know what you don't know. Use your normal grinder. Hopefully you're working on bigger pipes so that you can go ahead and buff it off. Or I always used file, things like that.
Files are what I always use for the inside.
Yeah. Thread chasers for worn pipe threads. And it happens. There's times things get gunked up, and over time, pull it out, run that thread chaser on there real quick. It's going to clean everything off nice and pretty again, ready for it to be rebolted up. Spring-loaded pipe clamps for solo installs. There's some really cool ways to do different things. We always grew up with clevis hangers to where it's just, yep, stab, and then, oh, let's pop it back into this one behind me. But now there's like spring-loaded pipe clamps so that whenever you pop it in, the clamp shuts and holds the pipe for you. Pretty freaking cool. Stock up on these for apprentices. They're going to speed up learning and reduce mistakes. And that's the major thing is some of these easier to use tools like me naturally I learned pipe ODs and stuff, but I'm a super number guy. So I know I'm going to remember stuff like that. Not every apprentice is. So, like you were saying, that spring loaded degree finder for the center punch, that's great for apprentices to start with. And then you can teach them the other ways later. So, it's really, there's so many things. One of my favorites, though, that I
Hmm.
ever found out about was a pocket wedge. It's a little 1 inch by 3 inch long wedge, maybe a 1/4 inch thick. Those things are so nice to have. And it was one of my go tos whenever I found them. And it was like, holy crap, I need a couple of those in my pockets all the time. Because whenever you're in that situation, hey, oh, I need another little, here, got a pocket wedge. Tap on that. So it's a good one to have.
Okay, why do they call it a pocket wedge?
A pocket wedge because the wedge actually fits in your pocket.
And
It's so small.
why would you as a pipe fitter want to carry that around with you all the freaking time?
All the time because you never know which if you're going to be doing a fit on the ground or up in the air. And the longer ones, I used to carry long ones. I used to wear specific pants so that I would have that little carpenter pouch so I could carry my wedges. Uh, but a pocket wedge, if it's in a normal pocket too. And that was one of my favorites because whenever you're up in the rack and you need a wedge just to spread the gap a little bit more, it's great to have one in your pocket right there and you can just pull it out and take care of business.
Hmm. And a lot of people don't understand when you're trying to put a weld together, that angle has to be pretty much perfect. And that wedge can literally just help barely move something just a hair.
That's it.
Sometimes that hair is what you need. And you can't just grab that 90 or that piece of pipe and move it like that, can you?
No, 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 because you wanted to use that for little precise movements,
Yeah.
not anything big or major. And
That's
that's it.
that's where when you just want to tap it over a hair.
That's
That's
right.
the tool you use for it. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is. And a lot
Uh-huh.
of people don't get it. And that's why I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah.
All right. So
Gotcha.
look, you can learn how to do a lot of this stuff on YouTube. We teach how to do a lot of this stuff. But we also teach people how to do YouTube. If you've ever thought about growing your business, growing your company, growing you or your brand on social media, YouTube's a great place to start. It's where we started. And then we were able to expand in other areas because of what we learned when we learned how to do YouTube. So if YouTube is something that you would like to learn, we created a webinar. It's free. Go check it out. www.justmetroger.com. And if you do go through it, come back in and let me know what you thought. I have a few people in here that come back and say, look, man, that was great. So if it's something you're interested in, go check it out. I think you'll love it. Squirt, tell us about that other great sponsor we have.
Man, we would love to thank League Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks. They let us get to come in here, hang out Monday through Fridays, and talk trades for an hour. But at League Pro, we manufacture the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. When I say we, I mean me. I build both pieces of equipment. I build a probe, T-handle style, solid block of aluminum up top with a stainless steel rod. It's real durable. That's the one you want for that meter to the home service for probing in and out of the ground. That stainless rod can handle any rocks and things like that you run into. Whenever you go inside or you're even listening to through the driveway or sidewalks or something, you're going to want that sidekick. It's the pistol grip style with an aluminum rod on it. And that aluminum rod is what really kind of eliminates that layer of concrete that you're listening through. It enhances the sound that much. So check out the complete kit at www.leak-pro.com. But also, if you're not familiar with how to do leak detection, I offer a 2-day in-person training here just outside of Dallas, Texas. And I've got a slab out there with 11 leaks under it to train you on. We go through, we do line locating first so that you know where everything is. Then we do pinpoint locating under the slab. Also, I have a leak that's outside of the slab itself so that you know what an underground sounds like also. Then I've got a couple sewer systems set up, cast iron and a PVC, and we go through there and I teach you how to do isolation testing so that you can determine exactly where a sewer system's leaking. But then also you get to do a sit down with Roger and talk about the marketing and how you can actually promote yourself and this part of your business in your local area. So give us a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. Be happy to discuss the equipment and the training with you. You're muted.
Sorry, I've been coughing a lot. What is the greatest thing about the training at Leak Pro?
Honestly, the confidence that you build. I was talking with a guy this morning. I said, look, I said, you'll be frustrated when you first start training because you're not going to be able to hear it. It's going to be like, wait, what? I said, I've built it extra thick here. I said, but by the end of day 2, you start to understand, oh, it does make different sounds, things like that, based on different things. And then you leave going, okay, I'm ready to go actually step into a house and do a slab leak detection because I'm so excited. And they're always happy with that first one they do. So it's just building that confidence, honestly.
And I completely agree with you. I truthfully think that, look, if I had started doing leak detection without getting to play with it first, without going, remember, I went to Florida for training. I went to California for training. Different systems. But what I learned better than anything was the principle, the philosophy, the theory behind it, the SOP. You don't just show up and, hey, I'm just going to walk in the house, see if I can find a warm spot in the floor and dig a hole, and I don't even need my pencil or don't even need my leak detection equipment. I'm already looking down at the next one. But you've got to look at it and say, hey, I'm good at this. And, it's so neat, Rady, because I watch how detail oriented you are when you're doing this training. And when these guys are literally, it's their first day out there doing it, and they're within 3 inches, a foot, 6 inches. I mean, they get pretty dadgum tight. We've had a few get right freaking on it.
Yep.
And it's like, man, with the look on their face, whenever you pull out that tape measure and say, that's exactly where it is, they're like, really? Yeah, if you'll do what we tell you to do, it works.
That's it.
All right,
That's
MEP, airflow balancing. Should HVAC pros use infrared or smoke? Now, I've seen them use smoke. I've seen them use infrared. I haven't seen much smoke, though. Mainly infrared is what I've seen. But balancing airflow isn't just about comfort. It's about the system efficiency and the indoor air quality. And guys, to me, indoor air quality is what it's all about. If you're not designing systems and installing systems that are giving the customer anything and everything they need, you need to be. So smoke pencils, they reveal directional flow. They're great for visual learners and field training. You get that smoke in there and you think, well, it's supposed to be going this way and it's going the other way. It's like, ooh, we weren't expecting that. Infrared sensors, those are a little bit different. They give you hard data on the thermal spread and the loss. So you've got to be able to say, hey, this is what you've got. And it's real funny right now because there's a company in Dallas advertising a lot. Like, do you have a room that's hot? Do you have a room that stays cold? Do you have a room that you don't use because the air's never right in it? Something like this can make that happen. But knowing when to use them too. Smoke for the fast field checks. Just get in there and boom, boom, boom. Here's where the air is going. Here's what we're looking at. Infrared for documenting bigger projects. Now, a lot of people don't have the infrared cameras, but I tell you what, they're worth having. They're great things to have. They make your job easier. In schools, did you ever have to do the before and after to show schools the differences, Squirt?
I wasn't on the startup side of it, so our startup techs probably had to. That would not
I just didn't know if it was in the
any.
specs or anything. Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah, like I don't know. That is a good question. But I worked in the industrial space a lot, so whenever I was doing the estimating side, I didn't do much with the schools. Yeah, on the estimating end. So
I get it. Well, the cool thing is, this is something too that you can teach the apprentices to do. Teach them to balance the system adjusting dampers, not just with fan speeds. Now, there's a lot of people say though, look, don't shut that damper down too much. You're creating a back pressure in the duct, and now you're making the system work against itself.
Yep.
Did you ever have to deal with any of that? And I know me and you, neither one, deal a lot with HVAC.
No, I had to get so many quotes from test and balance people to get the system set and right. So yeah, there's a reason they get paid though, because they go through and get everything set just right. And yeah, they try not to throttle it too much because you don't want to overwork the system for no reason.
It's funny because TMB is a big specialty too. We talk all the time about plumbers with whole house water filters, slab leaks, leak detection, electricians with solar, with whole house GFCIs, things like that. Test and balance for HVAC systems, even a residential. You could literally run a business saying, look, we'll just come in, check your system, make sure your airflow is right, make sure your rooms are good, and really you could do really, really well. So I like that. Squirt, tell us where the work is.
Man, I found an interesting one today.
I see.
Teacher housing projects that are being funded in fast growing college towns. And, some really cool places, some cities like Austin, Boulder, and Raleigh are building low income housing for educators. And we need more people teaching, and that's why they're going to build this housing. I think it's really cool. The projects are being funded through a 2025 bond package, and that's what's helping take care of, packages throughout the different cities. But there's huge demand here for framing, MEPs, concrete, plus a lot of potential here for prefab installs, guys. That's where everything's headed. We're always talking about that on this channel. Prefab.
Amen.
Like, it saves so much. It really does. So if you're not doing it out there, get going, start learning. It's out there and it's going to help you. So, also some public and private partnerships are going to equal steady funding and better payout reliability. And that's a good thing. It's a nice setup. You don't have to worry, is the check coming or not? It's coming. It's already set. It's already planned. It's prepped for. And that's a good place to be. Also, good tip here, bid early, as these projects often use local labor preference clauses. So get out there, get on the list. That way they know that you're wanting some of that work. And you'll probably get it if you're local, for sure.
I think it's sad that we have to build low-income housing for teachers. Why don't we just start paying them more? Look, I don't mean this bad, but I think teachers should make as much money as plumbers and electricians.
Yep.
I really do. All right. Instructor training. Now, I'm going to talk about this because I used to love this part whenever I taught blueprint reading and drawing. But this is one thing that we would do one night because, all my students had their book that had their drawings in it. And literally like 2 nights a year, two different things that we were doing. I'd make them bring those drawings in, open them up, lay them out, and color code it and teach them how to do it. That way they could just look at a system. They knew the cold water, the hot water return, supply duct, return duct. I mean, anything and everything, chilled water, heating water, every single bit of it. Now, using color markers to train layout, sequencing, and install order. And this is great because you can color code the ductwork, the conduit, the plumbing lines. This helps learners visualize the routing. And I would also, Squirt, have them circle the BOP elevation. That way it was always easy to find, no matter what duct, no matter what you looked at, it was easy to find. And if size changes happen, I'd make sure that we highlighted that. That way you saw that this pipe went from 4-inch to 3-inch. A lot of people, if you're just looking at a print, you'll skip right over it. So this is good stuff. But assign each trade a color, then let apprentices trace the system path on paper. Now, I did multiple colors. So I didn't do it just by the trade. Because if you just color all the duck red, it's just, you might as well leave it white on a blueprint,
Yeah, that's it.
you know? And same with pipe. But I colored everything. I had color codes. You could literally look at my drawing. You knew exactly what system you were looking at. And Randy, I did it because it made it easier for me as a superintendent when I'm going through applying labor hours to it. It was easy to trace out that red line.
So easy. There were
And this is-
times
Go ahead.
there were times estimating. Guys, I had a great position. I got paid a lot of money, and there were days that I would spend 8 hours coloring my blueprints
Yeah.
so that I could actually track. Now these were big jobs, large projects. So it was a lot of drawings that I was coloring, but it sped up the rest of the process for me so much because then I could go through that whole stack of drawings and quickly follow every system. That's one of my favorite things with this year.
That is good. And it's great too. It's great prep for the BIM coordination awareness. That way people know what color lines. If you can talk to the BIM people and say, hey, we do the hot water lines in red, cold water lines in blue, hot water return in orange. And they're like, okay, they can color it. So when you're looking at the BIM, it's exactly the same as what you got on the drawing. But you also want to snap photos of your top student work. That way, if you've drawn it and colored it great, and I take a picture of it, now when I'm teaching this next year, I can pull your drawing up on the board and say, hey guys, look, this is what Squirt did last year. It was fantastic. It was so good. I wanted to take a picture of it. Anybody who does one this good gets, $20, $25 gift card for lunch tomorrow or something.
Man, you ain't ever going to have to give anybody a gift card.
I know they're never going to be as good as you. I know you like that, didn't you? I want to say hello to Mr. Derek Sutton. How are you, sir? DJ 2AM says howdy. Miss Lori McNeil is in the house. Says, whoa, I love this. I'm sure when I was talking about giving teachers raises. This reminds me of the housing Boise has started for those in the trades working on projects. I think we will see more of these pop up. And, Lori, I think that you're right. All right, Squirt. Vehicles. These are popular.
Man, thieves versus tools.
Yeah.
Best security upgrades for 2025. It's big, guys, and tool thefts are up, especially in metro job site zones. For some reason, people think it's a grocery store. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Groceries aren't for y'all, guys. We want to work with those. But some really good upgrades. GPS-enabled toolboxes and alerts. Something we were talking about recently, like take just an Apple tracker, throw it in the bottom of your toolbox, throw it in one of the little pouches you've got in there floating around. Because if you're anything like me, you've got multiple pouches. Stash it in one. When that thing starts to move, it's going to start alerting you and letting you know, hey, this is moving and you're not. What's going on?
Now, Randy, I know that Milwaukee has one key built in.
Mm-hmm.
But if you throw an Apple tracker in a toolbox,
yep.
Say the thief stole an iPhone from somebody earlier, does their iPhone go off and say, hey, you're being tracked?
I don't know.
Because if so, my thought is they'll just pull over, go through it, find the tracker, and throw it out.
Well, nothing's going to say it's being tracked. I mean, unless they stole your phone, I guess.
Well, no. The phones are set up. If there's a tracker in my earpods here,
okay, yep,
and you pick them up and take them away. Well, once you start walking away with these, if you've got an Apple phone, it may notify you and says, hey, you've got something being tracked. Okay, because they do. It's a knowledge-based thing.
Yeah.
So my thought is, do they make something that's not tracked? Because if thieves are stealing my tools, I don't want them to know that they're being tracked.
You're the one getting the notification, not them.
No, if you've got a tracker in your wallet and I grab your wallet and take away, it notifies me. It says, hey, you've got something on you being tracked, because you're not allowed to track people without their permission or stuff like that.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't.
So anyway, that's something we're checking,
I don't
because I know that's one thing I love about Milwaukee One Key. They take it, and as long as the battery's charging, their battery will tell you where it is, because that's your tool.
One Key also makes a fob just like Apple Tracker. Same thing.
Cool.
So yeah, you can get one and screw it, just throw it in a pouch. Also,
No,
I'm looking at
love
that,
it.
thinking Leak Pro wise, like
No, and that would be
So-
a good thing to add to it, and just say, hey guys, look, all our equipment's trackable. You set it up, find out how much it is, and tell them if you have Apple software, you can track this. They get stole. Okay, Leak Pro's a freaking amazing looking kit, and even the plumbers that you have working for you will try to steal it and say, hey, I don't know what happened to it. So I could say, yeah, you do. It's in your bedroom.
Yep.
Not very good.
Also, there's some like drill powered locking deadbolts, interior cages, and alarm triggers that are tied to the truck battery so that they can't just disconnect it. Over $1 billion in tools were stolen off of job sites in 2024. Means 2025 is probably not going to be far off, guys. So do
10 or
what you can.
20% more.
That's it. Do what you can. Protect what you've got. I've had them come in, take welding machines, all sorts of things. Like, you know, they're like, what do you do? Well, we chain it up. Like, so then we had to start spending an extra half an hour every day putting a welding machine in and out of the Connex over and over. And it's a whooping. That's it. It's labor that is not figured into the estimate for sure. Because why? Just because some thief wanted to come and jack with it and ruin our days. So, you know, it happens. But
you know, whenever I had the van over, and I've got a video about it over on my channel, literally thieves came over, busted out the windows, got inside the van, stole the tools. I literally got a phone call at about 11 o'clock on a Friday night. I had been out to dinner or something. I'm pulling up at the house. My phone rings. I'm like, what the heck? And I see it's a Richardson number.
Yep.
So I answer it, you know, Texas Green Plumbing. Said, yeah, this is Officer so-and-so with the Richardson Police Department. We think that some people broke into your van in front of your plumbing company. We saw them pulling away. We saw a door open and we pulled them over. We're right around the corner. Would you like to come look at this and see if any of these are your tools? I'm like, oh, hell yeah.
mm-hmm.
I got there. They had, they had all the tools pulled out. There were two guys that they had handcuffed. And I'm like, yep. All that came out of my van.
Yep.
It's a whooping, guys. You got to protect your stuff.
That's it. Promote some hidden in plain sight methods, guys. Wrap expensive tools in lunch bags, paint cans, covered up with old paint cloth that just looks horrible, and have some paint cans laying around. Most people just think it's a painter's truck and it's just crap that's underneath. They're not going to dig into it too much. Do everything you can. Get super dark tint, get mirrored, do a lot of things to prevent them from even being able to see into it. And it sucks because that's what we have to go to nowadays. But do everything that you can to lock it up tight, have an alarm set, track it, cover it, hide it, do everything that you can. Protect what you got.
If you're not protecting your tools, if you're not going above and beyond to protect it, you're just making it easier for them to get away with it. Now, I'm not saying that having a tracker in your toolbox is going to keep them from busting your window, ripping open your door, pulling your crap out. But at least if you've got a tracker in it, when that thief steals it, you know where he's at. You know what pawn shop it ends up at. You know, whatever the situation is, there's a way to say, hey, how do we do this?
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, Squirt, let's talk about Roofing Insights. And this is my buddy, Dmitry Lipinski. He runs Roofing Insights, top tier roofing business channel. Cool thing about Dmitry is I actually met him at the end of 2018. I had 119 or 117 subscribers. He had about 20,000. And I'm like, oh my God, if I could ever get to 20,000 subscribers, I'd have it made. Why'd you pick Dimitri today?
Man, it's been a little while since we've talked roofing, and it's been a little while since I've talked to Dimitri. So I'm bringing him back in through. It's been a little while, but guys, he's out there doing good things, and he runs a super big channel for roofing. Like, I don't think it gets much bigger, and he covers a bunch of different aspects of it. And that's one of my favorites. He's at 142,000 subs with over 55 million views. He does roofs.
He does roofs.
He does roofs.
He does roofs.
But he's good at it. He talks about, like, this is one, it's members only right now, but I saw this on here this morning. The real reason roofing companies double every year. He's not joking, guys. That's the thing, is it's completely possible if you're doing the right things out there. And he runs a top tier roofing business channel that covers all the aspects.
I was in a leadership training in one of the best practice groups that I was in. And literally, it was so good because I'm sitting at a table with a roofer, and we're talking, and he says, what's your growth look like? I said, man, we're trying to hit 10% on a regular basis. We're doing this. And literally he says, wow. And I'm like, are you doing 10%? He says, well, I've actually been doing 100%. It's like, what do you mean? He said, well, 5 years ago or 6 years ago when I started this, he says, we were doing $1 million a year. The next year we did 2. The next year we did 4. The next year we did 8. The next year we did 16. And we're projected to do 32 million next year. It's easy to do if you do it right, if you understand the systems and processes. What's your favorite video here? Or what's the best performing? What's his top video?
His top video, best and worst gutter guards.
Okay.
And like, guys, that does so well, doing the best and the worst, good versus bad, anything like that. Comparisons and stuff are huge. 7 ways roofers cheat. How they actually cut corners to help save them on their cost. Things to look out for if you're getting a roof done. It's one of my favorites. Like, I like to know that. Gutter guards, honestly, like, good, bad, ugly. What do we really need? What works? What's quality? What's not?
Yep.
I would like to know from a roofing guy. I mean, I'm just saying, I want to know from somebody that deals with that on a regular basis.
Yeah, I was looking for his video over here. One of my favorite ones that he's done is the ladders. And he literally went out and he bought them. And he says, look, they didn't give them to me. He went out and bought like 10 extension ladders.
Yeah.
And he literally, he went into a parking lot in Minnesota where he lives. And there's like a 6-foot retainer wall at the back of the parking lot. And he extends all these ladders out to the same length. He leans them up and puts them up on that 6-foot wall. And he's got like 2 30-pound or 50-pound kettlebells. And he starts walking up the ladder. And to see which one bowed, which one didn't bow, which one broke. I mean, it was neat to see. Yep. And he kept saying, guys, look, they didn't give me these. These aren't special ladders. I went to the store and bought every one of these. Pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to find. I'm finding a lot of the telescoping ladders.
Yeah, and these may have been telescoping, Randy. I know some of them were, but it may not just have been a regular extension. That may have been it. The telescoping ladders.
Maybe that right there, possibly.
Is that the one? Well, click on it and then just kind of go to the middle of it. Yeah, no, that wasn't it.
Yeah, not it. I was trying.
Oh,
but yeah, no, it's like he does some good stuff over there. Really does.
And he's a great guy. I mean, I remember sitting and talking to him. It may have been at a bar, uh, but I'm sitting and talking to him at Vid Summit 2018. First time I had gone. And so I'm wearing my Texas Green plumbing shirt. He looks at me. He says, so you're a plumber? I said, yeah. He said, cool. I said, so what do you do? He said, I'm a roofer. I'm like, oh my God, really? A tradesperson? And we started talking about the channel and what he's doing and how he's doing it. And the neat thing about Dimitri, he believes in doing things right. And he will buck the system. If a home inspector fails a house, he'll go back out and look at it and see if it was done right. And he's like, look, they don't know what they're talking about. And he will argue. He's not opposed to that. Also, against Angie's List, he's literally said, look, it's a scam. And he interviewed somebody that used to work there, a whistleblower there. And I mean, he has done so many good things with them for all the trades. And that's really, that's part of just what I really do like about him. And Amber put in a comment, says, you were at the Phil Collins concert the night the vans were broken into. And she's right. Amber and I had gone to Phil Collins in Dallas, went back home, and God, I don't remember if Amber and Caleb met us down there or not, but went to the concert. And maybe they rode with us. And anyway, by the time I pull up at the house, I think we did get them right, because by the time we got to the house, the phone rang, and I thought, man, I was just right over there dropping Amber off. So, Amber, it's a good thing your memory's better than mine. That's why I do YouTube videos. That way I don't have to remember stuff. I just make a video about it and I can go back and look at it. Anybody interested in learning YouTube, but you're like, look, I can't do it. I don't have the gear. I don't have the followers. I don't have the views. Guys, those are misconceptions that are keeping you from growing keeping you from growing your business. Now, I've made a video because you know what? We all want more time. We all want more money. We all want to create an impact in the world. YouTube can help you do that. When I spoke on stage yesterday, I'm standing up in a room full of 300 people. And I'm like, those of y'all that don't know me, pull out your phone, go to YouTube and search plumbing. And we'll get back to that in a minute. In just a few minutes, I mean, people are like, oh my God, do you see this? And it's really cool because you can get found for whatever words you want to get found for if you learn to do things right. And if you do want to make more money, if you do want to have more time, if you want to have more impact on you, your family, and the world around you, YouTube can be the way. So if it's something anybody's interested in doing, and I preach YouTube because once you learn YouTube, you can repurpose things, and it's so much easier to do all the other social platforms. So if it's something you're interested in, go to www.justmattroger.com. And after you watch the free webinar, jump back in here and let me know what you thought about it. I've had great feedback. So anyway, I'd love to hear from you. Squirt, tell us about Leak Pro.
Everybody, we would like to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks. And Leak Pro builds the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. I always suggest checking out the complete kit at www.leak-pro.com. The complete kit comes with everything. It's a business in a box. Everything you need to go out and do leak detection as a one-person operation. If you don't know how to do leak detection, though, give me a call. Let's talk about a 2-day training that I offer here just outside of Dallas, Texas, where I'll take you out there. I've got 11 leaks under a slab, and I'll train you how to locate the lines, pinpoint locate the leaks. Also a couple sewer systems and how to locate leaks in those. But also we teach you how to market this in your local area so that you can get your phone ringing. Do me a favor, get mine ringing. Give me a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. I'd be happy to talk about the equipment or the training and how we can get you to doing leak detection.
I love that we've got everybody on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn in here. I love what we get to do. And thank you all for being here. Matt Light says, how far back do companies check your driving record? Normally as far back as it'll let them. So I think things stay on your driving record for about 7 years. I believe that's what it is. But guys, look, we're almost through the week. Focus on what you're doing. work safe. I've got one more day here and then I get to come home. So I will be here again tomorrow, back in the studio. I don't even know. What is it? Today's Thursday, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Friday
Okay.
Eve, baby.
There we go. Friday. See, you hadn't said it yet. So,
Yeah,
so
I
it
know.
hadn't kicked
Yep.
in.
Yep.
So anyway, guys, whatever you do out there today, do it safe and have fun. Thank y'all.
Brady, thanks for showing up. I appreciate seeing you. Hope to see you here tomorrow for the real Friday, not Friday Eve. Guys, get out there, hit it effing hard. You know we will. See you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.